My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my ranking of the Skyline franchise from worst to best. And if you've watched my reviews for these movies, you'd know that I hate them. I think this is a very bad franchise. I heard great things about the sequels, and I couldn't possibly disagree more. Like, the only credit I'll give these movies is that they all have relatively low budgets and they did the most with that money they could have. But man, like these movies suck, and let's just get into it. The worst movie in the franchise is Skylines. And this movie is bigger than the rest of them, and because of that, the low budget reveals itself a bit more. Just this movie is a convoluted disaster. I didn't have a clue what the characters were trying to do and why, and it was just very poorly written and structured, and Wars was a terrible lead character, and everything with Trent is laughably bad. It's just a complete disaster. It bored me to tears. I hated this movie, and yeah, it's the worst. The second worst Skyline movie is Skyline. Singular this time, but it's the very first one. And like, I guess the ending for this movie is kind of cool. You know, at this point in the franchise, it's really fresh for a character to get his brain removed, but then he still has control, but now he's in an alien body. So I liked that, but the rest of the movie is just very bad. Like, all these people are getting sucked up into the ship, kind of like in Nope, but it just has zero weight behind it, and it never feels like the end of the world. It feels isolated to this group of people, and I just thought these characters were incredibly boring, and the action wasn't exciting. It was never tension-filled. It was just a movie that did absolutely nothing for me. I hated it, so that's why it's the second best movie in this franchise. But the best movie goes to Beyond Skyline. And do not get me wrong, this movie is bad. It's really bad. You know, like, you actually got yourself some respectable names like Frank Grillo and those two guys from The Raid. But even they're not doing good work. Like, I don't know, this movie is terribly written, terribly directed, but at least the plot is constantly evolving, and that's why it's my favorite. It begins, and it's before the events of the first movie, and then you've got the end of the world, alien invasion. Then you've got this section in the ship, which legitimately has some enjoyment behind it. Then that ship crashes, and they join a rebellion group, and then there's this big fight against them. I'm not saying any of this stuff is great or let alone good, but at least it's evolving. It's not a stagnant movie. So that's why it's my favorite, but like, I still got a lot of issues, especially how, like, when the son dies, you just do not care at all, and even his dad doesn't seem to care. He gets given this baby by the alien, and then the alien just dies, and it just feels like that character was thrown away. So, like, it's bad. I don't recommend it, but it's the best of the three, and that's my ranking of the Skyline franchise. I clearly do not have a lot to say, but what do you think of these movies? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin